watching Numbskull News, and today we got some big ass news that's been dropped. Texas and OU are leaving a year early, and good riddance. I'm sorry. Get the hell out of here. I'm so happy this happened. And damn, you got to give it up to Mr. Yormark, man. This dude's been rocking it the whole time he's been here. Ain't even been here a year yet. We got a new TV deal, and we got Texas and OU out early. Plus, the league has an extra $100 million to spend. And the Big 12 and Yormark worked it out in a way where Texas and OU don't have to pay one dime. I mean, this is brilliant. All right, it just comes out of what they would normally make out on TV deal. That's brilliant. But can this lead to other things? I think it actually will. The Big 12 have an extra $100 million to spend on adding teams. This is very important because any Pac-12 team that's going to come in, they're going to start playing here in 2024 because their deal is up. They got to play somewhere. We had a big-time article drop by a big-time media member, a guy who's a Pac-12 lover. Well, at least a defender. I'm not, he's a legit media guy. And in said article, basically talks about how all the shit that Commissioner Kliavkoff of the Pac-12 has been telling his members is all turning into shit. Because he's a bullshit artist. He's been that the whole time. He's told them that, hey, you're going to get at least $40 million a school. That's what we're worth. Well, no, you're not. And that's not what you're getting. That's not what Amazon's going to give you. ESPN said hell no. Fox done took off a long time ago. And they've kind of boxed themselves into a corner where really the only legit partner that they can have right now is Amazon. And Oregon, Washington, Arizona State, apparently, they're not cool with that at all. They don't like the lack of exposure. This hurts their brand. And if you're Oregon and Washington and you have, the wet dream of getting into the Big Ten someday, you damn sure don't want to have something that hurts your brand. You're already not worth enough to get into that conference. That's not going to help you. Now, maybe 10 or 15 years down the road, Amazon becomes a real player in college sports and the exposure is about equal to ESPN or Fox or in the neighborhood. But right now, it's way, way less. And if you don't believe me, just look at the numbers of Thursday Night Football. We're talking NFL. That is huge viewers, regardless of when they play. And they have experienced a huge decline in overall viewership being on Amazon. Now, I think Amazon has big plans for the future, and eventually, they'll kind of, decrease that big gap, right? But right now, the exposure is insane, and it's not good. But what is really interesting to me is that, of course, Texas and OU wanted out early. They're willing to, give up some money to do so. Fine. The Big 12 was more than willing to take money and let these guys get the hell out of here. That was fine. ESPN loves it because, they own the SEC. Come on. That's more money in ESPN's pocket. The outlier was Fox. And Fox got $20 million. I don't know about you, but I think having Texas and OU games on Fox probably is worth a little more than $20 million. So that just, when I heard that, it was kind of weird to me. And keep in mind, in this article, they had an AD. We don't know, some mystery AD talking shit, took a big shit all over the Pac-12 TV deal and Kliavkoff and everything that's been going on. They are really, really not happy, whoever this AD is. And I have a feeling it very well could be the Oregon AD because that guy has not been happy for a minute. And you better believe that team being the most valuable brand and right next to him, Washington, you better believe they're not happy hearing that, oh, we're going to go to Amazon and we're going to go for roughly the same money that the Big 12 is paying out, maybe less. I mean, look, there's a certain dollar amount where maybe you can handle, that lack of exposure on Amazon. Maybe I don't know what the number is, 40 million a school, 50 million a school plus. It would take a lot. If we're going to deal with less exposure, we better be getting a bigger check. and the bigger check isn't coming. So so we're not going to make near the money we thought we were going to make, and then we're going to be on Amazon, and because Oregon and Washington get great ratings, they get outstanding ratings every year, and they're prime markets. All the bullshit that you ever hear about Oregon and Washington, it's all true. They recruit, especially Oregon recruits like a son of a bitch. It's going to be a little harder to recruit on Amazon, and it's a knock to the brand. That's going to hurt any kind of appeal the Big Ten may or may not have later on down the road. And it really sucks that Commissioner Warren is now with the Bears, because he's the guy that was really advocating for Oregon and Washington. Think about if the Big Ten elevates someone from Ohio State, let's say, their premier brand, you would think that the next commissioner may come from that school. Someone within their department, whoever, their AD, I don't know. And if that's the case, because from what we all heard is Ohio State shut that shit down. All right, they didn't want Oregon and Washington coming in. They didn't want to take any kind of less money for those two schools. Is that going to change if someone from Ohio State is the next commissioner of the Big Ten? It's going to be awful tough for those two schools to get in. And playing on Amazon doesn't help that at all, and they know that. But things have been quiet with the Big 12 for a while. Now, this is pure speculation on my part, but I think it makes some logical sense. Could the Big 12, your mark, maybe some back channels, whatever, been talking to Oregon and Washington? They're pissed, all right? They don't see a future with the Pac-12. They desperately want the Big 10, but it's out of reach right now. What's the best way to maybe climb the ladder and get there? Maybe the Big 12. For Fox, getting $20 million, okay, we'd probably rather have Texas and OU. But if you can give us $20 million, maybe an Oregon and Washington game or 2 or 3, that, that's just pure speculation on my part, like I said. That's some conspiracy shit right there, man. That's who killed JFK. That's the grassy knoll. I understand. But does make a little sense. And these things, back channels are a real thing. How do you think Texas and OU got to the SEC? How do you think USC and UCLA ended up in the Big Ten? Back channels, folks. That's how it works. So maybe we may see this expansion thing really go and push pretty damn far. As a matter of fact, Brett Yormark, what was he, what was he hired to do? He was hired to do this TV deal, work out something with Texas and OU, and expand the conference. That's what the conference wants. If you want to protect yourself, you need more teams, and more teams with real value that are additive. Well, Oregon and Washington obviously are additive. And you got that extra $100 million. Now you may say, well, hold on. These 8 legacy schools in the Big 12, they're losing money to bring in the 4 new schools. And the 4 new schools, they're only going to be making half of what everyone else is making until 2025. Okay, but they had already planned, to make less money to bring those 4 schools in. And sure, they could just pocket that money and say, okay, now we're making what we're used to making, everything's all good. But you didn't know that was going to happen if it was ever going to happen. So if you really want to expand and you really want to be aggressive, doesn't it make sense, instead of just pocketing that $100 million you're getting from Texas and OU, why not use that to grease the skids to bring in Oregon and Washington? Because they'll come in a year before that new deal kicks in. You got to pay them something. They're not coming for free. As a matter of fact, they're not going to take $1 less than what they're worth to come in to the Big 12. Well, that can help get them in. And Gonzaga's a lock. That's happening. All right. You got the Gonzaga people saying that, hey, you know what? Big 12, they're forward thinking. We like them. Essentially taking a shit on the Pac-12, like, no. Yeah, maybe, geography's a fit, but nothing else is. And if you bring and if you can get Oregon and Washington, well, damn, you got instant great travel partners for Gonzaga, it works out perfectly. Now, I understand this is all, Big 12 fanboy, whatever bullshit. But, you know, like I said, it just doesn't add up that, Fox would just be cool with, 20 million. I'm not saying 20 million's nothing, but what do they make off of Texas and OU every year? Do they make 20 million, 30 million, 40 million? I don't know. But it's a lot. It's a lot. That's why they didn't want to leave them, let Texas and OU go for nothing. But if that does happen, all right, now you're getting into the dominoes flipping over, all right? Because if Oregon and Washington leave the Pac-12 for the Big 12, you could damn well expect more teams to go. We know Arizona and Arizona State aren't happy. They're pissed. I mean, really, everybody should be pissed, all right? Maybe not Utah, but I don't know. I can see Arizona State say, if they're going, where's our invite? Because screw this. Colorado probably the same way. And if all that happens, then Utah might be, well, shit. I guess we are leaving. I mean, what other choice do we have? Do we stay here and join the Mountain West again? Or do we go somewhere and get paid, get into the playoff, and make some money? At that point, with that extra 100 million, and look, would ESPN kick in money, beyond their, what they agreed to on the pro rata for Oregon and Washington? Yeah. They'd be stupid not to. All right, so you don't have to spend the whole 100 million for 1 year to get Oregon and Washington in. You can help grease the skids for other teams to come in. Hell, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility at this point, San Diego State, which I thought, that's kind of a long shot, but maybe that might actually be a thing that happens. And if that does happen, does Fox kick in a little extra money for Gonzaga? They probably do, because that was their thing they were most interested in when they made a deal or an extension. They're part of the extension with the Big 12. They wanted that basketball. If you can put Gonzaga in there, that's just more delicious content, delicious basketball content for Fox. Now, I know I just rattled off 8 teams there that would have the Big 12 going to the Big 20, but it's not out of the realm of possibility here. It's really not. I mean, you can at least see 4. Now, like I said, that's if Oregon and Washington, decide to do this thing. And now I'm thinking that I was not thinking that was like a real possibility, but a maybe. But now, considering everything we've learned today or yesterday, whenever I dropped this video, with Texas and OU leaving early, the Big 12 getting the extra $100 million. And let me be clear, it's actually an extra 80 because 20 of it is going to go to Fox, whatever. But 80 million. And then some mystery Pac-12 AD shitting all over the Pac-12's deal, hey, why isn't there a deal done yet? Because it's bad. Well, what's bad? The deal's bad. Everything's bad. Kliakov's bad. We owe Comcast $50 million because they overpaid us. That's bad. Everything's a bad freaking look for the Pac-12 right now. It sucks. And then you got Kliakov coming to my town, Dallas, sitting down with SMU. You're just now doing that? I mean, 7 months ago, you learned USC and UCLA are gone. They're leaving. Okay? And you're just now sitting down with SMU? I mean, what arrogance. What arrogance, man. You should have been on that from the jump. Let's start talking to other teams. These guys, I mean, this is what the Big 12 did. All right, Texas and OU left within a matter of a month or 2, maybe 3 months, I don't know, somewhere in that neighborhood. It wasn't long where the Big 12 was sitting down with BYU and Cincinnati and UCF and Houston and probably a few other teams as well. But they were talking. They already had conversations going within a matter of a couple of months. But no, there's old Georgie Klyakov, sitting back in his office, got his feet up, writing out little bullshit on a napkin. you know, just watching Pornhub and not taking care of business. I mean, ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. No wonder this AD's all pissed off. And I guarantee you he's not the only AD pissed off. Unhappy on what's going on. So unhappy, they're like, yo, we got a conference right over here. And they're cooking. They just got a team to the damn national championship game against Georgia. Sure, they got smoked. Anybody would have got smoked against Georgia that day. Not a big deal. They got there. That's 2 years in a row they put a non-Texas, non-OU team into the freaking playoff. And yes, I'm counting Cincinnati because they're in the Big 12 now. Screw off. So after everything's said and done, the Big 12 is about to get damn aggressive. And this is about to get damn exciting. And we all got a front row seat. Hell yeah. Anyway, that's all I got. I'll be back with some other crap later. Bye.